Hi students, so today we are going to dive into the details of the Python lambda expressions. So let's get started. So in the last lecture we have talked about the Python functions, which basically takes some argument and after processing it, it basically returns us some values or output. So today we are going to simplify the work which is done by the functions, and therefore I am going to start the Python lambda expressions. So this is the simplified structure of a lambda expression. Initially you have to give a name of the function or the lambda expression with which you will call it from any other location, and then you have to write the lambda here, then the argument over which the function will be performed, then colon, and after it this statement. Okay, so this statement would be very ambiguous for most of you guys, so therefore let me start the program here. So let us have a program which basically takes the input and multiplied the number which is 5 with that input. So by writing the function here, let me write the mul and write the argument here. Let me write it here a. Okay, so what would it do? It will basically give me a multiplied by 5. So that would be the return statement here. So in order to run it, what will I do? Let me write the 5 here. So after running it will give me 25, similarly 10, and so on. Okay, what would it do? It will just multiply 5 with it. Similarly, in order to write the same function by using the lambda expression, what I can do, let me write mul underscore 1 and writing here, this is the name here, and now writing the lambda. You can see here that the color of the lambda has been changed, which basically shows us that this is a keyword here in the Python. So lambda and writing the argument. So let me take argument as the x as the argument, and then we have what we have to do with that. We have to multiply 5 with this x. Okay, so let me run it, and after running it, let me write mul underscore 1 and providing it, let me again provide it 5. So you will see that it will give me 25. Similarly, by giving it 10, it will give me 50. Okay, so you can see that both of these are basically giving me the same values at the output, but there are some inherent advantages which are related with the lambda function. And similarly, in your programming assignments and your programming tasks, whenever you see the lambda, objective of this lecture is not to make you confused that what is lambda and where it is used, because you have covered all the basics of the Python language, and therefore it was also mandatory for us to get to know about the lambda expressions. Okay, so this is the initial example for the lambda expression. So after it, let me have the example or the functionality of the lambda function, in which the lambda expression basically get any number, and after getting that number, he basically provides you all the even numbers which lies in between that number. Okay, so suppose if I give it even 10, it will give me all the numbers like 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10, which are basically the even numbers which lies between 0 and 10. Okay, so we have to write the same function in lambda expression. So how to do it? Let me start here. So let me write it evn here, which is the name, and after it again lambda here. So after writing the lambda, let me again call the argument as x and then the colon here. This is the basic structure. So what would happen after getting it? Let me start it by writing the list comprehension here. So in list comprehension, let me again define another variable, that is I. Okay, so I in range of x, because x is provided to it, it will basically iterate through all these x, and from this x it will get I here. Okay, so in order to iterate through it, I will have to use this for, and what is the condition here? So if I modulus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so get it here that it will give me I for all the values which ranges from 0 to x if the value of I is even. Okay, so let me run it, and after running it, let me write the value here, and then let us check it with 10. Okay, I don't know what is wrong with it. Okay, let me change the name. Okay, so there was something wrong with the name. So by changing the name here xx, I can see that by giving it 10 here, I will see that it will give me all the value from 0 to 8, but 10 is not included. Why is it not included? Because in range x is never been included. So writing x plus 1 here and then running it, I will get all the values, all the even value from 0 to 10. Okay, similarly, if we want to get other values from 0 to 20, it will give you 0 to 20. Similarly, in 100, what it will give you, it will give you all the numbers, all the even numbers which lies from 0 to 100. Okay, so that is the connection of the list comprehension with the lambda expression. So you don't have to write the lengthy programs and so on. Okay, similarly, another motivating example is basically the addition or multiplication of two numbers. So ml or prod here, so prod is equal to the lambda, which will take two numbers a, b, and what would it do? It will multiply both of these numbers. Okay, so it will give me this value. And similarly, now writing prod 5 multiplied by 5, and it will give me 25. Similarly, 50 multiplied by 5 this, and 0 multiplied by 5 is 0. Similarly, 25 into 10 this. Similarly, let me write the 0 point, let me check it for it, and it will also give me this value. Okay, float will also be included here. So that is another function. So similarly, let me solve another example in which I will give some string to the lambda expression, and it will split into some separate characters or strings. Okay, so let me call it the splt. Okay, let me call a split, and lambda again, lambda x, and writing it like x dot split on the basis of the this space here. Okay, because the default value here is this space. So now running it, okay, lambda here, this is the issue. So now let me write split and then giving it I love my country, and then I love my country. It will give me all the values which are now here. So assigning it to some other value like v here, and then len of this v, it will give me the value, because now it is in the form of a list. Okay, so that's it for today, in which we have seen the applications of the lambda expression and where it can be used. So this is the end of the today's lecture. So I will see you with some more.